Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sherwood Shakeup. I'm your host, Matt Weinglass, and boy, do we have a fun show planned for you today. We're going to be doing a comedy special. We're calling it Uncanceled Comedy, celebrating 3 years since the lockdown, but who's counting? That was a fun title we came up with because we actually did a comedy show a year ago at this exact time, which was 2 years since the lockdown, and we just thought it would be very interesting to kind of check in with some of our comedian friends. We have a very special guest coming in a little later today. We're going to introduce him shortly. But we're just going to kind of have a discussion and see where the comedy scene has come over the last 2-3 years and where it's going from here. So yeah, we're really excited to dive into some of those conversations and bring our guest in a little later in the show. But first, let's bring back our co-host from that's been an excellent co-host for us this season, Lizette Santiago. Hey, Lizette.
Hi there, Matt. Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
I can hear you. You're great, looking good, sounding good. And I see you got your fun Oscar, or is that's the comedy tragedy mask?
Yes, I figured we're talking about the Academy Awards, theater, seriousness, and then we're talking about comedy today. So what better way to do than my little comedy faces? And they a little different than I expected them to look, but still.
Hey, I have to tell you, I got to tell you, Lizette, we've gotten some really great feedback off of last week's show, and a lot of some people that watched live with us, some people were watching it during the week, and they stumbled on it just in time, I think, before the Sunday Oscars, and they were able to see our little game that we came up with last minute. But that was a really good idea you had, and we did the little game of the Oscar, choices, and people they're curious to hear which one of us won, and we did hear the winners announced on Sunday, and let's chat about what happened at the Oscars. Let's have a little kind of feedback on that, and I'd love to dive into the winners and see which one of us. It was Team Lizette and Team Matt going against each other head to head.
Yes. So, and I have to say, Matt, some of them surprised. Like when I was watching the Academy Awards, some surprised me, and someone was like, "Yay, I got that right! I knew that!" Or "Wow, wow, okay, that was an educated guess." Or it was just But most of them, I was like, good choices this year. I really have to say there were some really good choices for this year. And when they did surprise me, I'm like, you know what, that was a good choice. So I think they did well this year with their choices.
I think they did, and it was a better show than last year's, so I'll give them some props on that. Wasn't necessarily a fan, a Jimmy Kimmel fan, but he did hold it together, and I suppose overall, some very good. Some people got the credit they deserved, and I guess overall it was a pretty good show, I have to say.
Yeah. And I apologize too. I'm a little under the weather today, but that's okay. Nobody at home can get what I have. I'm a little cold.
Are you sure? I'm a little worried. You sure it doesn't transfer over the screen?
No, I don't think so. I mean, unless there's a virtual cold that's going around that you can get. I don't think you can get this.
I wonder if I need to stay 6 feet away from my screen.
Yeah, you might have to. Okay. I would. Don't want to take any chances. So if I sneeze or cough, just know it's just a cold, though. Just a cold.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. We'll keep that in mind. And so, well, let's dive in to the winners, because we went head to head, like we were saying earlier here, Team Lizette versus Team Matt. In fact, let's set us up. I'm going to get us in the right order here.
Okay.
Team Lizette versus Team Matt. Okay. So
I got my notes.
You got your notes. Okay. So let's start from the top here, because I am surprised how aligned we were on some stuff. But yeah, I think it came down pretty close here. So let's go right away. Actually, I had some music picked out for today. So let me throw a little of that on so we can get a little background for this. Here we go. This is a fun one.
I'm gonna see.
Okay. That's our
background. Yeah, it's nice.
There we go. Okay. Here we go. The Team Lizette versus Team Matt Oscar Challenge. we're going to start with the first one. It was film editing. The winner of the film editing was pretty much the big winner of the night. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
All at once.
Right?
I think we both. I had that.
We'll bring this down. I think we both selected the same one on that one. So we're gonna start the tally. Boom. Team Lizette won. Team Matt won. We both got film editing.
Woo, first point.
Yay! Perfect score right away. Okay. Second one. Best documentary short. Looks like the winner was The Elephant Whisperers.
Yeah, I remember I told you, I was like, I think this one might win. I've heard a lot about it. And actually, when they showed a little bit of it, I was like, I want to see this. So, yep, that one won.
And I think we both were 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Team Lizette 2, Team Matt 2. Rocking and rolling here. Okay, then we got into the next one, which was a documentary feature. I believe we both did not do well on this one.
That one surprised me. But it didn't because it was the winner was the Fox.
No. This is the documentary feature, not Navalny.
Okay, right. Okay. Navalny.
And I think we just did not. That was the Russia documentary.
Yeah.
Neither of us got that one. Correct.
Got it. I put All That Breathes and you put Fire Dogs. So that we both
But then it looks like the next one we came back strong, both of us. Visual effects. Best visual effects went to Avatar 2, and it looks like we both got that one. So Team Lizette and Team Matt tied three apiece.
Oh my.
Yes. Okay. Now this next one, this is like I realized that I went all in on Elvis on a lot of categories, and I was completely wrong on those, and I think we both got this one off as well.
Yeah.
This is best cinematography, and it went to All Quiet on the Western Front.
Yep.
Both of us got that wrong with Elvis.
Yep, we put Elvis. Yep, we both got that. Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Which would have made sense too, but I thought Elvis was good too with that. So, it's not our fault.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Best production design. It also went to All Quiet on the Western Front. And it looks like Lizette got mad on that one. I stuck with Elvis and you went in on All Quiet on the Western Front. So 4-3. Okay, you got me right now. That's okay. That's okay.
It's okay.
Okay. This one, I totally fucked this one up. Makeup and hair. I should have known, and I know you didn't get this either. So the Whale won best makeup and hair.
Remember, we had talked about it that it could go to the Whale because of his costuming. We were both a little unsure.
We psyched ourselves out, and you went with Black Panther. I went with Elvis. So no point each of us.
Those were good choices too. So I'm not mad at us. But...
not mad at us. Okay. Then we go to best international feature, and I think this was a no-brainer. All Quiet on the Western Front. We both got that one.
We both got it. All Quiet on the Western Front.
So we're gonna go there. So that just kind of puts you up. Yeah, you're up 5-4. Okay, no big deal.
No big deal. No time.
Okay. So now we go over to original song, and I couldn't believe this one because I think we both talked each other into this, but RRR ended up winning it.
I know.
And what did we say? We said Top Gun, I think. Oh,
sorry. Yes, Top Gun. And I didn't realize that song was from RRR because I watched that movie, and honestly, I don't know if you have that. It was phenomenal. That movie, the music, the dancing was phenomenal, and I didn't even know it was that movie at first. I was like, oh my god, yes, of course that makes sense. So, have you seen that movie?
I have not seen it yet. I should have checked it out. I should have paid attention because now that I'm looking at it, it seems that everybody was talking about that song, and we were just, I don't know, we just thought Lady Gaga. I don't know, but she just won it. Like I should have remembered she already won the one with Bradley Cooper a few years ago. So maybe it was another musician's term. So we got that wrong, but
But Rihanna was a good choice too. Rihanna was also, I forgot, she was in the mix too, and her song was breathtaking when she performed. They all did great performing, but RRR performed, Lady Gaga and Rihanna, and they were just outstanding, all three performances. So
exactly.
But good choice again, RRR.
Good choice. So moving on to Best Animated Feature. It looks like we hit this one out of the park. Both Team Lizette, Team Matt. Pinocchio was the absolute winner on that. So we're going 6-5. I cannot seem to catch you. What is going on here? This sucks. Okay. You're just like one-upping me here. Okay. Okay. No big deal. Okay. Next one. We have Best Animated Short. And we didn't see any of these, which is unfortunate. So we were just going on an instinct by the title.
We were going on instinct by the title, but when I saw the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse twin, I was like, of course it's a no-brainer. People these days, and I am too, animal lovers, and we're starting to, and it was a good little short too, animated short. So I'm like, oh my god, of course. Again, I didn't see that, but if I would have saw it, I probably would have picked that one too.
Probably. So the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse won Best Animated Short, and we did not get that one right.
I put the dick and you put the sailor. So we got our own little porn going on there.
Exactly.
New animated short next year.
New animation next year. Moving on to Best Live Action Short.
Yes.
Oh, man. I might have screwed this one up too, because in Irish Goodbye won, and it looks like
I got it.
Congratulations, Team Lizette. You're now up 7-5.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This isn't good. Come on. I'm really hoping for a comeback here. It's time for a comeback. Okay.
Oh, you put the red suitcase, yeah.
7-5. Oh my god. Okay. We're moving on to a Best Original Screenplay. And I know Everything Everywhere All at Once won. You went with The Fabelmans.
Yeah.
Team Matt got this one right. So.
You got the point. Yes, I went with The Fabelmans, and I was wrong.
Okay. All right, we're doing this. Yes,
we're catching up, Matt.
Catching up. Adapted Screenplay is the next one. And I believe you went with Top Gun. I went with Women Talking. Turns out, Women Talking.
You got me on this one too. And you said
I knew it.
I hadn't seen that one yet, so I've heard about it, but now I got to see it.
It's great. It's excellent. It's so character driven. It's a type of movie where you're like, this is all character, all words on the page. You got to give a heads up to the writing on it. So
absolutely.
Anyways, okay. We are tied head to head, 7-7.
Tied 7-7. What are my lucky numbers?
Moving on to Best Original Score. Went to All Quiet on the Western Front, and for some reason, both of us thought Everything Always was going to win it. So
I didn't even see that coming. That was one that surprised me, but again, it made sense. So I'm not going to argue it.
Yeah, I'm over it. Okay. Moving on to Best Sound. Top Gun won Best Sound, and it looks like Team Lizette got Team Matt on that, because I thought it was Avatar. So congratulations.
When I saw that one being announced, I'm like, oh my god, I hope I picked this one. I think I picked this one, because why wouldn't I? Because yes, the sound was fantastic in that movie, but Avatar was another good choice too. So that was another neck and neck one. But yay. 8 points, Matt.
Okay, we're going on to Best Costume Design, and it looks like Black Panther took this one, and you knew that was going to happen more than I did. And I went with Everything Always, and you knew, Team Lizette knew it was Black Panther all the way. I should have listened to you.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately,
I tried to get you to come to the dark side. No, I'm kidding. Try to get you to convert to my side, but you got your. Hey, you did good too. No.
Oh my God, I got to catch up again. Okay. Coming down the stretch, we are now into the acting categories. Best Supporting Actress. Now this was interesting because we
Yeah.
had the list was mistyped on our end, and once we understood that Jamie Lee Curtis was on that list, I was able to go back and get that corrected on my end, and Best Supporting Actress did go to Jamie Lee Curtis. Team Matt got that correct.
Good job. And I had a chance to change my answer too, but I love Angela Bassett so much. She's one of my favorite actresses, and I'm like, no, I just want her to win. So I did that because I didn't care. I wanted her to win. So in my eyes, she won. But yes, well deserved from Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Okay.
Good job,
9-8. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next actor. We have Best Supporting Actor. It looked like it went to Ke-Huy Quan, and we both, I think we both knew that one.
One of my favorite ones wins because it's so sentimental. When Harrison Ford hugged him, they put a picture of when he was in Indiana Jones when Harrison hugged him in a scene, and that when Harrison hugged him at Academy Awards, and they had it side by side. I thought it was brilliant when Harrison Ford presented that award, and he presented it. I mean, that was amazing.
Well, it goes to show you they kind of probably knew that was going to happen because you got it. I mean, that wasn't an accident. That's where he started his career. The two of them together all those years ago on Indiana Jones, and here we are. It's a full circle. That was pretty cool moment, and I don't mind. Yeah, he probably was going
to, give another award for original sound or something, and then they said, "Nope, switch it up. You're doing this." Because the results came in, and Harrison, you have to present this award. Why wouldn't
exactly? Yeah, that would happen. Okay, Best Actress goes to Michelle Yeoh. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and it looks like we both got that one as well. So Team Lizette at 11, Team Matt at 10.
And oh my gosh, Matt, we're getting to the end.
We're getting to the end. Now, there are 3 categories left. This next one, I mean, I would have bet everything on this. This was a very important one. I thought it was a big deal that he got to do this, but it was the Best Actor. You saw it in his face how emotional of a moment it was. But Brendan Fraser, he was able to get up and accept this award. It was like one of the best comebacks we've seen in Hollywood in a long time. So
absolutely. And I had no idea that the kid from Indiana Jones, Ke-Huy Quan, was also in Encino Man. I love that movie. I watched it so many times, and I don't remember. I had to go back the other day and watch it again because I was like, oh my God, he wasn't he? So that was a good moment too. 2 cast members from Encino Man both won an Academy Award, so that was impressive.
And where was Pauly Shore during all this? That's what I want to know.
But he did congratulate both of them on social media. He wasn't like, I should have, because Pauly Shore is a good actor too. He's kind of not doing as much lately, but he should, because he was always a good actor. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I watched Encino Man, I thought, wow, he's such a good actor, and Sean Astin was in that too, and he wasn't there either, but he was another cast member too. But they ragged on Pauly Shore. Poor Pauly.
Okay, we have the 2 final categories: Best Director and Best Picture. Best Director went to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, and unfortunately, it looks as if both Lizette and Matt, Team Lizette, Team Matt, went all in on Spielberg, and we did not. Yeah, unfortunately. So
I really thought they might have given it to him because he hasn't done anything in a while. This was his baby. This was his project, and I really thought that he might have not gotten some of the other ones, but I thought he would have gotten this one. And I guess both of us were wrong. So.
We're wrong. And at the end of the day, the only time you really ever see the director and Best Picture split is when the previous awards are kind of more spread out. But once you start seeing that one film just kind of start taking all the big awards, it's just going to happen that way. It's really hard to just like, oh, let's just go off of another direction for director. So I think once we got to there, I was like, there's no way Spielberg's winning this. Like I knew. But
in the beginning, it looked like All Quiet on the Waterfront was going to sweep everything in the beginning. They were kind of sweeping a lot of awards. And then I was like, whoa, what happened to Everything All at Once? And all of a sudden, Everything All at Once, everywhere came Everything All at Once. Right. Like it reflected the awards and how it went down for them. but they just swept. I believe they got 7 awards total, 7 Oscars total.
Yeah, 7 out of 11. Yep.
Yeah. So
And that brings us to the final award, Best Picture. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once wins Best Picture. Team Matt and Team Lizette both got that one right. So the final score, Team Lizette 13,
Woo!
Team Matt 12. The winner, Team Lizette, the winner. Congratulations.
By one.
You won it by 1.
I told
if
you
you add our
it's a
scores
game.
up together, we got 25 if you add them together. So that's probably the best score possible.
Yeah, we were pretty on it. We missed just well, half of them. About half, right? There was 23, so almost half. But that's okay. We did good.
Yeah,
we
did good.
We did good. So
absolutely. So,
high five, Matt.
High five.
I still won them.
I hope next year.
I'm just kidding.
Next year, I plan to make a comeback, and I'm gonna get you. So
okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna watch them all, every single one, and the shorts. Remember, we discussed next year that we have to pay attention to the short and animated short films.
Yes, that's correct, and we will. We'll pay more attention. But we were talking about last week, and I want to spill this conversation over because we did cover the pre-Oscar discussions last week. This week, we're moving into comedy, but it's some of it's very related. And I know we were talking, Lizette, about how these shows have changed. These award shows have changed over the years. I'm interested in how comedy has changed over the years. I know, we've had different moments, and anyone who's seeing this now, if you want to go back and watch some of the moments we depicted last week in previous Oscar moments in history, where we could see the kind of shifting of when what is acceptable, what's not, people that get pushed back, people that don't. What does Hollywood look like right now? And I just think from a comedian, I'm not a comedian, I'm not pretending to be one, but I know I'm around a lot. I know you do comedy, Lizette. I know a lot of people in our community do comedy, and I'm interested in it. I like to see what is it that is okay and not okay, and how has that changed? And we've seen this over the past 3 years, when the lockdown happened, that, sometimes at some point it wasn't okay to do certain types of jokes. People got in trouble for certain type of jokes, and they had to kind of back off. And I don't know. It's interesting to me.
It's just taken a totally different route. I mean, I don't personally do stand-up comedy. My boyfriend Danny does, and a lot of my friends are stand-up comedians, but I am a comedic actress, and we have our comedy podcast, and I even hosting, I like to throw in a lot of comedy in my hosting and stuff. And nowadays, even today in our show, I'm like, I made a comment, a joke, I think earlier today, and I feel like, that probably was a bad joke, but I'm thinking in my head, now you have to watch the jokes that you say. And comedians, that's what we are. We're, comedians are comedians. They like to not make fun of life, but yeah, you're making fun of life because you're trying to make light of the situation of what's going on in the world. And when I see these comedians making fun of situations and things here and there that a lot of people are sensitive about, it makes it fun. It makes it light. It makes it enjoyable. But now you have to watch what you say. And it's sad that comedians have to watch some of the things they say, some of their jokes, that, keep it clean, don't curse, don't do this. They have so many, like a list of criteria now. Now you also have to watch specifically on, the way you categorize somebody based on their race, their gender, and all that stuff. So there's more things that you have to watch out for now. And it's just it's taking the fun out of comedy. I feel like when I used to watch stand-up comedians perform on Netflix or anything like that, I like to watch it because that's their show and they can do what they want. But sometimes too, they have to watch some of the things they say or edit it. That's why they can't do it as live as much anymore, because for their shows, they have to have them edit it. And that's kind of taken away from the comedy, in my opinion. And I still love to watch comedy. I think we all need it. I think we need to make fun of ourselves and make light of the situations once again. But it's just really bad. Being a comedian must be a little bit more difficult this time of year. This time, these days, it's a little bit more difficult.
It has to be. And I'll mention, we played the Chris Rock slap from Will Smith last week, and I'll just say, like, I know, definitely in the LA comedy circuit, when that happened a year ago, that was something that really made a lot of comedians very concerned that, like, are they saying in the Academy Awards by not getting security and not escorting Will Smith out of there? Are they saying it's okay that if you upset someone, it's okay that they come up and attack you on the stage? Is that the message being said? So I know a lot of comedians were really upset by that. Like, wait a minute, how does this affect smaller shows and people that aren't going to be as protected, and like, hey, some drunk asshole said, oh, you're making fun of my girlfriend, and I'm going to come up and I'm going to physically attack you. So I mean, obviously that was bad. And I do think they did a pretty good job on Sunday addressing that in some comedy that was said. And again, I'm not a fan of Jimmy Kimmel, but not a fan, but I think he did handle that okay. Yeah. I have to say it was just by addressing the security part of it, which I think wasn't.
You see, and I agree with you, Matt. I think he handled it well. He wasn't over the top with it or anything like that. But also, I like Jimmy Kimmel. I'm a fan of his. I like him on his talk show. He's hosted the Oscars like 3 times now. And I just feel like this time around, he was limiting himself. I think he's gone overboard in the past couple of years. And this year, I felt like he was reserved. He didn't want to say some of the things. I think he was holding back a lot. And it's because they probably talked to him about everything before and said, don't say this too much. Don't say so. I feel like he was thinking too much about what he could not do. I know they prepare and they have their thing before, but I think he was doing that. And I think that's what took some of the fun out of it too, as I was saying before. You
might be right about that. So listen, I want to switch gears on another comedian that I grew up really loving and watching all the time when he hosted The Daily Show back in the day, Jon Stewart. I always thought he was edgy. He was somebody who pushed the limits. His comedy was about punching up, not punching down. That's the George Carlin way. That's what we all talk about, this idea that you challenge institution, you challenge the thing that you're not supposed to talk about, and you just do it. And you if you get pushback, you get it, but you keep going. That's what I grew up with when I saw Jon Stewart. And then he kind of backed off. I know that he quit the show. He said, I don't want to do this show anymore. I think it was right when Trump got in. I think he was taking some time, and you didn't really hear much from him. But a year ago, and I know he got the Apple show, which was cool. But a year ago, I was impressed because I thought he just stopped being kind of like that. But I was like, oh, he's doing something. And he goes on a year ago, and I'm going to play this clip for people who don't know that this happened. But it's just very interesting to me that Jon Stewart went on Stephen Colbert. That was his friend. They came up together. Jon Stewart actually helped Stephen Colbert get his career on The Daily Show, which then led to the Colbert Report, which led to the Late Show on CBS. So here's Jon Stewart coming out of retirement, kind of going on his show, and he has a bit planned where he's making a commentary on the lab leak of the coronavirus, and it's a funny bit. And as he's doing the bit, Colbert is what they call in comedy, it's called kneecapping. You want to kneecap a fellow comic, you're going to prevent him from doing the joke, telling the joke. And it got pretty heated. And by the end, and I'm going to show this for you guys right now, by the end of the clip, he has to get up off the couch and go up to the camera to finish his jokes because his friend Steven won't let him finish the joke. He keeps interrupting. Why is he interrupting? Because he's not okay, because there's pushback from CBS. You can't talk about this subject. You can't. A year ago, you can't talk about it. Why am I playing this now? Because it took Jon Stewart a whole year to talk about what happened to him after the show. The reason he can talk about it now on his Apple show, and I'll have that clip, that'll be at the end of this. You guys are going to see this in a second. The reason he can talk about it now is because now a year later, it's okay to say the lab leak without being called a right-wing conspiracy theorist. And so now he can say on his Apple show, I felt harassed, I felt attacked, I felt bullied, I felt these things that I couldn't do my jokes. And he was reprimanded after this. Take a listen. Watch what happens to Jon Stewart on Stephen Colbert and his reaction 1 year later of what happened to him. Here we go.
Bit about, and it was similar to a bit I've done on religion. I used to do a bit about religion, saying religion's giving comfort to a world torn apart by religion. So the idea was, about the vaccines and other things, that science had truly helped heal a world from a pandemic, probably called by science. And then I proceeded to go on a kind of a long tangent about why that why I thought that. And the backlash was swift, immediate, and quite loud. It was a pretty good bit that expressed kind of how I felt. And the two things that came out of it were I'm racist against Asian people and how dare I align myself with the alt-right. The larger problem with all of this is the inability to discuss things that are within the realm of possibility without falling into absolutes and litmus testing each other for our political allegiances as it arose from that. I'm done with you. I will never forgive you. You have crossed an unforgivable line. You've expressed an opinion that is antithetical to mine or not mine, and it may not be one that has any real ramifications of anything. I was just saying, this seems like it's a pretty good possibility. But what was stunning to me, I think, was the anger. Like, that's the part of all of this. And it's purposeful.
Wow.
It took him a year. It took him a year to talk about it publicly. Isn't that interesting?
And I mean, that was actually a fun skit that he did. He was actually quite funny, Jon Stewart, you know. But again, it's like we were talking about, and I love Stephen too, Stephen Colbert. When he had his show, he was so funny. What was it? The
Colbert Report.
Colbert Report, yeah.
The Colbert Report was actually a funny show.
So funny. He was not censoring himself. He said anything and everything that was on his mind. But I've noticed, and this is why I stopped watching The Late Show, because I felt like ever since he got that job, he wasn't the same Stephen I loved watching because he was limiting himself.
And you're absolutely right to notice that, Lizette, because on Comedy Central, he was playing a character that was self-aware, that he was making fun of the corporatism, that type of character that was oblivious. He was fully playing this character and that was the commentary behind it, and that's why we loved watching it. As soon as he got to CBS, he became that character he was making fun of. He literally became that corporate voice that would punch down, do the thing CBS wants him to do, take the money, take the bigger paycheck. And I couldn't stand watching any of this, especially this COVID coverage he's done the last couple of years. I mean, he's literally having like girls dressed up in needles dancing around the stage, telling people to take the vaccine like every week, like this just propaganda. That's not comedy. I don't think so. And so to see Jon Stewart go on there, did you see his face? Did you see Colbert, how nervous he looked? Like, shit, there's going to be, I'm going to be in trouble. I better stop this. Did you see how?
Yeah. Did you even notice how he really didn't say anything? He just kept laughing because he has a lot to say, but he just kept laughing. He took a drink out of his mug. He was just like, kept looking. He probably was getting signals from production people and said, like, wrap it up or, whatever. And I can see that happening, but he didn't say much. And that's not like Steven either. He'll always have a thing. He just kept asking him questions, but he didn't state his own opinion.
So I mentioned before the clip, I mentioned knee. So the kneecapping, and it's subtle, but if you got to watch it again and really look at what so he didn't fully interrupt him, but he would do these little throw offs, He made a joke at him about are you with Ron Johnson, which is it's like. That's a Republican candidate that I think only his audience would even know that reference anyways. But it's just there were these little curveball purposely trying to get him off track. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. But you saw that's what his intention was
Absolutely.
to kneecap the joke, because if the joke got through and it was successful, then there would be ramifications for that.
And did you see that Jon Stewart became aware of it? Because he became aware of it when Stephen first got his mug. He was trying to deflect his joke onto him being funny with the mug. And Jon was like, nope, don't you do it. Nope. Don't you he knew it, that he was trying to do that. So that was, wow. But Jon was funny. Good for Jon he was actually really funny, funny.
So, and to see him a year later have a discussion, publicly about this. I'm happy that he finally did, because I was wondering if he was ever going to address this, but I see what happened. He was basically probably told that, you don't do this anymore. Stay quiet, get in line. and do the thing that you need to do. And I saw his behavior the last year on his show was basically on his Apple show. He's just been kind of going along with whatever the daily talking points are. He hasn't really challenged any guests. I know he had Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice on a month ago, and he just let them do their warmongering stuff. He never challenged them. And I was like, what is he doing? And now it makes sense. I saw this thing of him, and he's only being able and allowed. I just want to be clear about this, Lizette. He's only able to talk about this now because the institution now has allowed it to be talked about. Now we have the CDC and FDA and the FBI even. They're all saying this is a good chance that this was a lab leak. They're saying it now. And so now you can say, oh, what happened there a year ago when you couldn't say it?
Didn't somebody a long time ago when COVID was still around, someone who worked at the lab, didn't she kind of leak something too that she thought it might have, that she knew it came from that, and people were trying to hush her up, I believe?
The discussion about the lab leaks, Lizette, has been trying to go on from day one. It's just that it wasn't okay. They were calling it there was a whole campaign to smear anybody who wanted to have that discussion. So that was from day one. But we should have, the point is we should have been having that discussion. Comedy or not, we should be able to talk about stuff. And in comedy specifically, you should be able to make jokes about stuff. That's the point. You shouldn't be pushed. There shouldn't be consequences for telling jokes, because jokes are supposed to get you thinking and think about things. And that's the whole idea.
And I agree with you on that too, Matt, because I thought it was funny. I know he said he got some backlash that people thought he was, racist towards Asians and stuff like that. It's like, but it could have been, if that lab was in any part of the world, I think he would have made fun of it too. I don't think it was just because of it came from, an Asian lab, or I think he just.
So I want to be clear, Lizette, on the way propaganda works. That's not a normal reaction. People didn't just think of that on their own, that, saying a lab leak happened equals racism. People were told to think that. That was part. So we were programmed that if you heard somebody say lab leak, that means they're a right-wing conspiracy theorist and they're a racist. That's what he was saying. So this isn't like a normal reaction. This is because people were told that's what that means. If you hear someone do that, that's what they are. And so that was part of it.
Okay. That makes sense. But that's, I mean, I personally always felt that there was more to how it got spread out so quickly, not just a man eating a soup, I've always thought that was kind of, I mean, it could happen, but to me, I thought it was a little bit ridiculous to have been so out of control that rapidly, so I mean, now we kind of know what's really gone down, and he kind of made us more aware of it, Jon Stewart, I believe, so I mean, and again, he's making jokes and making light of the situation. To me, it was all funny. I didn't feel insulted or anything. I felt that it was funny, and like we discussed, this is really happening, and he's making it, turning into what he does as a comedian, his job to make fun of the situation, and that's what he's doing, so.
Speaking of making fun of the situation, we're here on the Sherwood Shakeup. If you guys are just joining us, I'm Matt Weinglass. I'm with my co-host Lizette Santiago. We're doing we're doing a comedy special today, celebrating 3 years since the lockdown. If you guys have not followed us yet on social, please do. We're at Sherwood Players on all socials. That's at Sherwood Players, and of course, you can go to our website and sign up for our email list as well, and be first to hear about all of our upcoming events, auditions, projects, opportunities to get involved. That's sherwoodplayers.com. You can go to that. And we are so excited about our special guest we are having on right now to come and celebrate this 3 years together and talk about comedy together. He is an actor and comedian based in Los Angeles and a producer of one of the longest running shows at the world famous Hollywood Improv. It's Bill Devlin's Comedy and Cocktails. And he's got another show coming up this Friday, the 14th, on St. Patty's Day at the Improv. Please welcome to the show, Bill Devlin.
Woo!
Hey, Bill.
Hey, hello. Don't mean to start with a correction, but it's Friday the 17th. Friday, not the 14th.
Oh, wait, today is the 14th.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the
people would have
correction.
figured that out.
I think people can figure it out. So today is Tuesday. This will be 3 days from today, the 17th, at the Improv. Bill Devlin. We're going to be there. Sherwood's going to be there. So
Yes.
I can't wait.
Now I have something to do on St. Patty's Day. Thanks,
Great.
I like your outfit too. You're ready for St.
I'm always ready. This is just my normal outfit.
Oh, okay.
It's every day is St. Patrick's Day. My son's name is Jameson. Did you know that? I have a 2.5-year-old boy, and his name is Jameson.
That's incredible. That's awesome. That's perfect. That's
And last time I saw you guys, Lizette was interviewing me. I had a giant glass of Jameson in my hand about a year ago.
And we're going to get to that. Yeah. We're going to get to that. Because
on my dress. Kidding.
that event you're referring to, Bill, that was where we first got to really meet and hang out and do that event. That it was an incredible experience. It happened to be a year ago this week, and that's why this is a big reason why we decided to do the comedy special right now today, because we're celebrating 1 year later, and that particular show was 2 years since the lockdown first happened, and we were getting together and doing something important. I think in the community, we were having our one of the first live events that we could even be allowed to have at the time, and just getting people together and laughing and celebrating it was just so awesome. And we want to thank you again for helping us put that together and getting really incredible comedians all in one space, including Jamie Kennedy, which was really awesome. And just thanks again for that. And we still remember that now, a year later.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, it was a fun night.
Absolutely.
Cool. Well, we're gonna I actually want to play a little clip from that in a second here, but I wanted to ask you, Bill, because this being that you're here in LA doing comedy, I want to know, what is it about the scene that you've noticed that has changed since the pandemic, and even in the last few years? What has changed, or is everything kind of, is it always been kind of up and down, bumpy, or is there a particular a mood that has changed as far as what is okay, what is not okay, how comedians go about their sets? What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's always some things. There's always certain topics that comedians touch on that some people are okay with, some people are not okay with. It's always been that battle. There's been certain words that you could use and you can't use. Always. Like I've seen people. I can't say the word. There's certain words for, mentally handicapped people. We used to use a different word for that on stage. And I saw a comedian do that, and somebody got up and they were so mad and flipping them off and stormed out and yelling, saying, "My brother's mentally handicapped and you're a jerk for saying that," and and just ruined the whole show. And so there's always been certain things you don't know what. I mean, people come to shows with a hot button, and why? It's a comedy show. Just relax.
Yeah.
It's not about you. It's not about what happened, with your life. This is just to make people laugh and forget about stuff and enjoy it. So there's always been that. I mean, and you guys, I was listening backstage with the Colbert stuff, and that's always been the case. I mean, it's network television. They have sponsors. They have to. So yeah, I mean, Colbert, listen, he took the job and he took it under those conditions. He knows it's network TV. You can't swear. Number one, you can't. There's a lot of things you can't do on network television, and you have sponsors, and that's always been the case. So if you want to hear the real stuff, don't watch network television, because you're not going to get it there. And it's gotten just worse and worse over the years. I mean, what's our censorship? You'd think in 2023 it'd be looser, like people would have figured it out. Oh, it should be, but it was tightened up. It's gotten it's worse.
It feels like it's gotten worse
now than it was when I was a kid. I mean, even you wouldn't even believe. I don't want to get on a rant, but even because my wife is from Thailand, and I know stuff about like a plane crash or an accident. They release stuff that they don't tell us here. Like there'll be pictures. She's like, oh yeah, here's a video of the plane going down, or, or whatever. And like, we didn't see that here. Nobody's talking about that. And they have it. It's just our government and network television doesn't want to release a lot of stuff. I mean, we are being censored way more than we even know. I'll tell you that much right now. That's my rant.
No, that's exactly, these are the conversations we want to have in our community, and especially in Hollywood in general, because we are in the arena of storytelling. So when you think about like, should we care about news and politics and journalism? I think we should, because we are literally in the art of telling stories. And if we only have access to certain information and a lot of it's being kept from us, how can we even put our minds around and wrap our heads around how do we go about presenting stories? How do we keep our authenticity as filmmakers and actors and writers if we don't even know the stuff right in front of us of how propagandized it is and how we're being manipulated? We can't even see all the information, and it's being done on purpose. We need to talk about this.
Yeah, like there's aliens now. Now they're like, something's fishy about this whole there's aliens thing, because they're only releasing again a little bit about the alien stuff. For years it was just a balloon. Oh, it was a balloon, and then it was we don't know what it is, and then it was it's aliens. We know it's aliens. Then it's back to it was a balloon, and then we're back to we shot some stuff down. We don't know what it is. Like we're back. It's coming all around. Like, what did they shoot? And the footage we released, I caught on one of the, because I'm really interested in aliens, and I did see a UFO, and I've always known they exist anyway. But these grainy pictures, like this is what we see. Oh, really? That's what our military. That's the best camera they have, that we can see these things. And then somebody did say, when they were talking about the Tic Tac one on one of the military, they said, we know that it doesn't have any propulsion or any known thing, and we know there's no rivets on it. Oh, really? So you do have a better high resolution image of it, because you just said there's no rivets on it. And the only way to know that is to have had the image that we know they have, that they're not releasing to us, and acting like they don't have it.
I just think we have to be skeptical at all times. Like you said, if they're going to be giving us something, what is the real ulterior motive? Why have that not been showed, and now it's being showed? I say we always got to be skeptical. What is being deliberately shown to us? What is not being shown to us?
Exactly. When the government released that they knew there's aliens, I'm like, okay, if they're telling us this, they know something else.
Yes,
something way bigger is happening. That they feel the need to tell us this little bit of information now.
Yeah.
That's how you have to look at it. And as far as comedians go, like there's certain things. It's just kind of common sense. People are there to have a good time. So you really don't want to, for me personally, I'm not going to offend somebody, but I'm not going to worry about what people are going to be offended by. If it's a real thing, I'm naturally not going to say something that's totally racist or inappropriate, because that's I'm not. So, but I'm not going to worry about it. If it's a true story and it happened to me, I'll just tell it like it is. And if somebody's offended, they're offended. But I don't worry about it. In fact, now I'm kind of actually trying to go there, because I'm thinking about, like, when I was a kid, everything I did everything I watched and did would be inappropriate now.
Bill, when you do your comedy routines, do you tend to go off of the audiences that you're performing for, or do you have something already set to go that's based on your life? Or how do you create your comedy routines for you, that with everything that's offensive and stuff? How do you go about, writing your stuff?
Yeah, usually just because a lot of my comedy is true stories based on things that have happened to me and things in the past. But then if the audience is really young, I can't keep hitting them over the head with stuff about when I was a kid, because I'm going to just start sounding like an old man saying, well, what happened in mine? So if it's an older crowd now, I can add more of this, or I can take a little of that and then add more in modern day stuff in it. And there's certain things that certain crowd, it's basically older or younger is really the gauge for me. Otherwise, I go across all ethnicities, and usually across most age groups too. But I'm, if I'm talking about stuff for the kid, and then I'll look at, there's a bunch of 15-year-old kids, I got to tell them what a camera was.
True.
I don't know what a real camera was even. Like,
or CD, or was it cassette tapes or disc or whatever like that?
I don't want to have to explain that.
So let's go back to a year. Let's rewind to a year ago. So we were all meeting up in Studio City at the Pineapple Hill Saloon, a bar. It was a parking lot that was set up as a actual stage area, seating, because we weren't allowed to be inside at the time. And so the owner, Angela Marston, she was able to put this thing together. We brought, Bill, you brought some incredible comedians. Jamie Kennedy, we mentioned earlier, a friend of yours, and plus some other incredible comedians, including yourself. And you guys came up, and I think we had an opportunity that day to really affect people that weren't at that point, hadn't been out like anything for a long time. And it was a cool event. And then the things that were happening that were being talked about on that stage, to me, I remember the feeling of, wow, this feels right. This feels cool. This feels like we can actually go there. We can joke about this situation. People have been, it hasn't been a fun situation in lockdown, but let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. And that happened. And I actually put together a little short clip of it. We have Lizette. By the way, Lizette, you did an excellent job interviewing everyone. You talked to Bill. You did a one-on-one with Jamie, and I want people to see some of that right now and see what we were able to do last year, right this time a year ago, this March. So let's check that out, and we'll talk about it.
Excited.
Okay. Kennedy was our headliner today for the show Uncanceled, produced by the Sherwood Players.
And so when they said, hey, do you want to do a benefit show for Pineapple Hill? I'm like, yeah, I'll do a show for Pineapple Hill. And then I met Angie.
You met Angie, the owner of Pineapple Hill Saloon and Grill in Sherman Oaks, where we're at right now.
When I see somebody that is telling great jokes, it feels like healing to me, because it's been 2 years of lockdown hell and not laughing. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here. I'm so grateful for the message that Matt and Andre and Jana are trying to give, because it's so important. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that the tent that they tried to shut down with a bigger tent survived. And I am doing everything I can to unite people and bring them together for what is right for the people, the community, because it's about the people.
What? I said, what up, Pineapple Hill? You got what? Oh, this? Oh, too soon for this? Yeah. Too soon? Too long. Huh? Yeah. Be damned.
Every single comedian on that stage tonight, I feel, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, was hysterical, including Bill.
Yes, and I did call all the comedians, including Jamie Kennedy, and I said, hey, come on out. Yeah. People were just clamoring to get in.
It was a great turnout with amazing comedians, like I said before. I've never laughed so hard in a long time.
How you guys doing? Look at all you people. I have not seen this many people in one place since, I left prison, but
And Jamie, I wanted to ask you, man, you have done it all. Comedian, writer, actor, what brought you out tonight to do this show? Why this show?
The first thing is Bill Devlin is one of my really good friends. We're connected on a deeper level. It's too long to go into, but also he's shows.
That's another interview.
I performed on shows with him with sold out 500 people, and I performed with 20 people in the back of an Irish shop. And they've always incredible, and he's one of the few people that kept comedy going during the pandemic. And he told me it was a charity and it was a benefit, and then I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then it wasn't until I got here do I realize what I was doing, and I was like, oh my, this was the saloon that I saw that had this crazy hypocritical moment in our society where people were shooting a TV show. This is before the vax, and they're allowed to eat outside. But Angela, a small business owner, was not allowed to have people outside. And I thought, that's fucking insanity. So I remember that was a touchstone moment in the pandemic. And then when I found out that I was part of it, I was like, count me in.
It's just so crazy. It's just like, I mean, there's a big Hollywood, and listen, I love Hollywood. You know, one of my favorite directors is here right now, Julie, and I've been able to make a living in Hollywood and do all right, and I don't want to bite the hand that is shutting down small businesses. But it's just weird. Like, it's not weird. I mean, here's the fucking truth. It's just bullshit. There's rules for them and then rules for us. That's what it is. It's just like, you can't, that's his money play. If they're all there shooting a show, was that pre-vax or post-vax? Pre-vax! Wow! And you weren't allowed to fucking sell some skewers in the parking lot? Wow. Well, God bless you. God bless you for being here.
Jamie, you mentioned doing it in the parking lot a lot. Doing it in the parking lot, but you performing in the parking lot. It was just...
Jamie,
you have a lot of sex in parking lots.
Not since 2017. I would never do that. Never.
But you kept mentioning the parking lot.
Oh, because, well, this was our best stage. Parking lots, like, you know, forests, like I said, hotel rooftops. We perform wherever it's open air. So we did a show in the desert. So I'm not kidding. Like, this is our new world. But I loved it. This is an incredible place.
I was just about to ask you, did you have fun? Did you like it a lot? Did you, you know, get...
Incredible. Energy here was insane. It was beautiful. Once I realized what was going on, I'm like, oh my God, this is the place.
Yes.
So is like there's like 20 things you can remember about this pandemic. And that was a touchstone moment. That was one of them.
Absolutely.
I can find creepiness in any Christmas song. Why isn't this song canceled, right? He knows when you are sleeping. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming. You guys are incredible. I want to tell you thank you so much. Keep this fucking place alive. Keep fucking laughing. Good night.
I cannot believe he's, you know, here with me, Jamie Kennedy.
In a parking lot.
In a parking lot. Uncensored.
But we're fine. There's tons of people around.
And you're pretty censored, I think. But no, you were awesome. You were uncensored. Is there anything else you want to tell the general public?
I just want to say, keep coming to comedy shows. It's like the last thing I think we got. I mean, this is like, I'm more humbled now than ever I've been in my career because it's a privilege to be able to do comedy. I'm lucky to do it, and it's a privilege for people to show up. There's a lot of things they can do in their life, but this is all we have, like, be able to express ideas in this weird world. So,
and Jamie,
be safe and, you know, try to be cool with each other.
My hair was so much longer. Jamie's great. You don't want to interrupt him. Like, no, keep going.
No, that was great. Great opportunity having those discussions, and like Lizette, great job talking. And you had a chance to talk to pretty much everyone that was there, but I wanted to highlight some of that. And Bill, you did such a great job as well. And I'm just so glad that we were able to do that. And here we are a year later. And, you know, obviously there's events now and people are going out now, but I think it was just a really important time that we don't want to forget that we were limited and we weren't allowed to do those things. And then there were people, we had a lot of pushback at that time. We had at Sherwood, there were people that refused to even come out to that show because of what we were representing. We had a ton of pushback on our social media. They were attacking us, saying, how dare you guys do that? So I think we got to,
really.
Yeah. And I don't think we don't want to forget that happened. I think a lot of people want to move on. Like, let's pretend, let's go back to normal. Okay, go back to normal is fine. Except let's also not forget where we came from, because I don't want anything like that happening again. I don't want us to be in a situation where we can't gather and be artists and express ourselves. And I think I think that's the hardest thing when you think, you don't have to agree with people, but to get away with the attacking and for that to be okay. And for us now to act like that didn't happen, I'm not okay with that. So I want to remember that that's where we came from.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think anybody got sick from that event. No one that I knew of, got COVID or anything like that. So I just think, we were some people, I get it, but I think some people were a little too, over the top about it. So yeah.
If anything,
it was fun.
Yeah.
Everyone got COVID a year and at Christmas time that year.
Yeah.
Christmas. Everybody I know got COVID in December that year. But yeah, I actually, that was a great show. We got over 100 people to come down. It was packed. We were bringing in chairs from a restaurant that was closed. Remember the restaurant next door that closed because of COVID? They were shut down. We were getting their chairs and bringing them into the parking lot, chairs and tables. But it was a really fun night.
It was so much fun. So it was so much fun interviewing you too, Bill. You're so fun, so funny.
That's about how much Jameson I've had.
Should have took a shot from your.
So,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we're here talking comedy with our special guest, Bill Devlin. This is Sherwood Shakeup, and we have a special show Bill Devlin is doing on St. Patty's Day at the Improv in Hollywood. This is St. Patty's Day, the 17th, Friday. You guys got to get your tickets for this one. Where do they go? Is it BillDevlin.com?
You can go to BillDevlin.com or improv.com.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, we're putting that up right now. BillDevlin.com.
This is my 19th annual St. Patrick's Day show. I started my first show at the Hollywood Improv on St. Patrick's Day in 2004. So 19th annual show.
Wow.
What's a long show?
Well, I think I missed one during COVID. Obviously, I didn't, we didn't count the years during COVID, I guess.
Bill,
think about that.
Bill, what time?
I did a show somewhere. Oh, I didn't skip. Maybe I skipped the 1 year of the first lockdown, but the next year I did a parking lot show in front of the Irish Improv.
Yes.
Wow.
We were at that one.
Under that one. You guys were at that. There was
the parking lot.
Was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, sitting on the corner of Hollywood and Melrose and Vine, and we're all doing shots of Jameson and drinking.
Nice. What time does the show start on Friday?
Oh, 9:15. Doors open at 9:15. I've got a musician, guy named Jimbo. He's a great guitar player. You can't get a bagpipe or an Irish band that time of year. On St. Patrick's Day, forget about it. But Jimbo's great. And then we've got comedy, and I've got all headliners are coming down.
That's so amazing.
Cool.
It's so good to see. Yeah, it's so good to see comedy coming back, like back in the venues and stuff like that, because so many comedy places closed down. Caroline's closed down in New York City. I don't know if that was because during COVID they lost a lot of money or whatever, but I know recently the Pasadena Ice House opened up too, and I went to the grand opening of that, and that was so nice to see. They renovated everything. We know the owner and stuff, but it was just so much fun and so good to see all the venues opening up again, because it's so good. It's a difference seeing comedy in person versus seeing, it's just the atmosphere is so cool to see comedians and the audiences. I'm sure you enjoy that too. I was going to say something else, Bill, but I'm sure you get off of that too. I'm not going to say it. I did say it anyway. But are you happy too that you can go back now to these comedy venues and perform like you used to? No more Zoom?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, parking lots are fun too. But yeah, and the Ice House, Johnny Buss, I don't know if people know, but he was the son of the Lakers owner, Jerry Buss, and he bought the Ice House in Pasadena and remodeled it into one of the premier best comedy clubs out there. The Hollywood Improvs, they have them all over. There's an improv in Hollywood, then there's an improv in Brea and Ontario and Irvine, and I tour all of those. I do shows at all of those because I can't wait to be back at the clubs and start touring again.
That's awesome.
Excellent. Bill, what's next for comedy in general? What do you see? Are we just seeing the same pattern over and over? Do you think that things might improve as far as?
Well, as far as comedy, I mean, it's It's a great time to be a stand-up comedian right now because audiences are coming back. I mean, there's ups and downs of our people going to comedy shows, but people are more interested in comedy now. A lot of it has to do with social media. There's people out there that are calling themselves comedians because they're a social media thing, but they're really not stand-up comedians. But we'll get over that. At least they're getting people out to come to the shows, and that's what's important. People are interested in comedy. People are coming to comedy clubs. I mean, like I was talking with young kids. I was talking to a group of young kids, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I've got a show. I'm doing a show at a Hollywood Improv." And they looked at me like, "I'm like, it's an actual place." You go, "Oh, like isn't it just on YouTube?" Or like, no, you know what? People actually do go into a building and see real people.
Yeah, like, get a drink.
The kids will figure it out. The kids, I mean, old enough to 20-year-olds.
Wow.
But it's a lot of my friends are doing theaters now. I mean, Jamie, I know Jamie Kennedy. He's doing theaters. Theo Vaughn, there's Kathleen Madigan. I mean, a lot of them, they're doing these huge venues now. So it shows that people are really coming out to see comedians.
Awesome. Bill, how long have you been doing comedy for? How many years total? Like, what age did you start or realize that you wanted to get into comedy?
Well, I don't want to say exactly how old I am now. I'm a little
you don't have to. but overall.
I started later in life. Like I'm like a Colonel Sanders type character. I started, but I've been doing I've been doing comedy about 20 years right now.
Wow. It's a very long time.
I've been out here to California. I moved out here from Minnesota to do comedy. And I studied it in Minnesota, but I wasn't ready. And when I was ready to get on stage, I came out here.
Did you start as an actor, or did you do commercials and stuff?
I was acting. Yeah, I was doing commercials in my early 20s, and I was also in punk rock bands.
Oh wow!
And I was doing comedy behind the drum kit.
Nice.
Which might seem weird in a punk rock band, but it worked out. But yeah, I did commercials and modeling and drumming, and I've always been in the arts somewhere. I have to be.
I find that comedians do really good with commercials because they have that natural humor that when they go into audition, they say, improv. Some actors have a hard time doing that if they, haven't studied it, but comedians, it kind of comes naturally to you guys. So that's why.
One of my latest characters, actually mentioning commercials, I love it, is Chris P. Poultry for Jollibee. I'm a chicken sandwich lawyer. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
No.
You guys got to see that. So,
no.
National campaign. It's been going for a couple of years, but they haven't been airing them here in Los Angeles, but it's been aired around the country. And you guys got to look it up when you're done. It's Chris P. Poultry. It's basically Better Call Saul.
Okay.
But that's the character, really. But I love that character. And it's you'll see. But it's and they let me improv most of the commercial. It was great. I mean, they had what they wanted, but I improved a lot of stuff, and they kept it. It was fun.
Good, which is a good thing. You weren't canceled or uncanceled or censored.
No. Freaking sandwich lawyer. There's billboards all over town for it.
Really?
All over the country, actually. Las Vegas, everywhere.
Really? Am I not getting out enough?
You just might not be a real chicken sandwich lawyer.
I haven't been to Vegas, honestly, since COVID. And I'm like, I used to go there all the time. And I'm like, I have to go back to Vegas. It was, I think, one of the only places that kind of stood open for a little bit, after COVID shut down everything. That was the only place people were going off to. But, now it's back to normal. So. Yeah.
We talk about inappropriate. So this is also the 20th anniversary of a movie that I starred in called Rectuma.
Oh,
hear that? Rectuma. It's my character has a problem with his butt, and then it breaks off and runs amok, and then grows into a 20-story giant monster ass Rectuma that attacks Hollywood.
Oh my! Where can we find that?
That was 20 years ago.
It's on Tubi. It's on YouTube.
Check that out.
There's gonna be a big re-release at 20th anniversary.
Wow!
Because actually back then that was released the same week that
I know when
Janet
it was.
Jackson. Can you believe that's 20 years since the wardrobe mishap on Janet Jackson?
Wow!
Everybody got really conservative, and so the producers had these, they're trying to advertise the movie. People come out and see Rectuma, and all the ads got pulled, and they had it pulled. They had it right after South Park. During South Park, these commercials for the movie, and they wouldn't play them. None of the stations would play them because all of a sudden everyone got real conservative.
Yeah,
another
because
thing.
of the Janet Jackson incident.
That was the Super Bowl, I believe, 2004 Super Bowl. So we're almost at that 20-year mark. But if I remember correctly, 20 years ago, right around this week, we were invading Iraq, I think. That was the big thing.
Wow.
Probably.
Yeah. So, yeah.
We
have a lot of I love all the different
down, Matt.
Hey, it's fun to celebrate the good and the bad.
Thanks,
but
Debbie Downer.
Yeah. Exactly. Right, Bill. You're right, though, Matt. It is good. Drama and comedy. Hey.
Hey, you got it. You got the masks. You got the masks.
Good
Actually,
and the
don't say
bad.
masks. Don't say masks anymore. I'm done with that.
No, you can't say masks.
Yeah.
These are actual masks.
Actual masks.
Actual mask.
Well, hey, Bill, it's so great to have you on the show today. Thanks for taking the time to hang out with us. And do you have anything else you want to let the Sherwood community and let us know about your show Friday or anything else?
We'll come down Friday. Then I'm going to have some other shows. I'll be back at the Improv. I'll be back at the Ice House. I can't wait to get back there. We were selling out shows every month before the pandemic. Every show sold out at the Ice House.
I'm going to go check you out at the Ice House too, Bill. I mean, definitely Friday.
I'm working on something that kind of touches on what we're talking about. It's going to be it's going to be short clips, and it's going to be black and white because it's me in an old timey newsroom reporting as an old timey news reporter. Like, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's old timey news for new timey times, and I'll report the news from the 1950s, but it's the 1950s news reporter that can see into the year 2023 and how things have changed. For example, here in the 1950s, why we have war and racism and all sorts of terrible things going on. Let's go into the year 2023 and see how they fixed everything. My God, ladies and gentlemen, they haven't fixed anything. Nobody's learned their lesson. It's going to be.
You got that. You definitely got the radio voice, the 50s voice.
We're producing those right now, so watch for that. That's going to be out on all.
That's hilarious.
We'll check it out. All right, everybody. You can check out Bill Devlin, comedian Bill Devlin, at the Improv this Friday, the St. Patty's Day, the 17th. And go to BillDevlin.com for tickets and for more information on what Bill has coming up after that as well. And thanks again for being on the show, and we will see you this Friday at the Improv.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot, guys.
You got
it.
Goodbye. Good day. That's an old timey saying. Good day, sir.
Wow, he's so awesome.
That's fun little hangout. I appreciate the sentimental element of this conversation, and then I actually was inspired. I know I can be a little bit of a downer with it when it comes to some of the harshness that I feel like it was a hard time. We went through 3 years of hell. I think 2.5, 3 years of hell, and let's try and get things back to normal. But I think it's cool that we talk about it because we are in the business of storytelling, and whether it's comedy or drama, like your masks, whether it's comedy or drama, we have to figure out a way to stay authentic, tell our stories, have our voices heard, and lead with courage. I always say that. So I think Bill fits the mold on that perfectly, and I appreciate his inspiration. Yeah, all around.
And I'm so glad all comedy is coming back again, like I was saying, because we had COVID, but then after COVID, we also have the riots, or during COVID, we had the riots too in LA, all the stuff that was going on with that and the curfews and all that. So everything kind of was just, what is happening in this world? And now we're going through everything that's going on, in the world with Ukraine and all that. It's everything. It's just sometimes you just need to laugh out all your pain and frustrations and everything. And comedy always does that, for me at least. And I know you, Matt, and for many people. When you laugh, when you're feeling down, turn on funny, like they say, put on music. Music soothes the savage beast. Put on comedy. It soothes the savage beast too.
It does. It does. And then you get fans like this. This is fun. I have to put this one up. This is Gothic King's Reluctant Toilet, Jamie Kennedy, a comedian. Thank you for that, Gothic Kings Reluctant Toilet.
Is that
So-
Jamie Kennedy in disguise that he's pretending to be someone else? I'm kidding. That's funny though. Yeah, it was nice to be, Jamie and I worked on a TV show before, so it was nice to see him again and just reunite and Bill and Dave Carter, they're all awesome guys. And I had such a fun time at that event, the Uncanceled event. So I'm glad we did a little reunion of it, Matt.
Absolutely. It was a fun one. And I figured why the hell not? It was about a year ago right now. So let's go for it. And I'm so glad Bill came on. Thanks for being on with us, Lizette. This has been a fun show. I really enjoyed this. If you guys are watching this live, thank you. If you're watching it on replay, also thank you. And please share it, like, subscribe to our channel. You can go to sherwoodplayers.com to get more involved with the community. We have events and auditions and projects and things coming up for you to get involved with. You can follow us on social media at Sherwood Players on all the platforms. And we love to engage with you guys. So you can also write comments during the show and send us emails, whatever you'd like to do. If you have a special guest in mind, or you want to engage with us about a show idea, let us know that too, because we will be finishing season 3. We have 2 more weeks left, I believe, of this show, Sherwood Shakeup, before we go on a break, and we'll be back with the season 4 down the line. But again, if you guys have ideas for shows or guests, or you want to engage with us, let us know. And we can't wait to see what you have to offer, because we like to build our community and grow our networks, and we're all in this for the same reason, to improve our brands, to improve in the community of entertainment, and just achieve our goals together.
Absolutely. And I'm going to probably go get some cup of soup and rest, because I'm not going to miss Bill Devlin's show on Friday, because I forgot it's St. Patty's Day too. Now I have something to do. Yay.
You do have something to do. So get better, Lizette. Rest up, drink some soup, and we will see you at Bill Devlin's show on Friday.
One more question, Matt.
Yes.
What's my prize? Because I did win my win.
Oh, man.
I'm not letting you get off with that.
Team Lizette did beat Team Matt today in the Oscar game. Okay, I'm gonna have to come up with a prize, and I will deliver it to you next show. Although if we might, if we miss you next show, we'll definitely by the week after. But I do owe you a prize, so let me come up with it, and I'll get back to you. But
I'm just kidding. The prize is to just kick your butt. That was a prize. Because look at you, Matt. You know everything about everything. So
everything, everywhere, all at once. I suppose. Yeah. No. No. You got me. You got me. You got me. Congratulations. And this has been another awesome episode of the Sherwood Shakeup. We will see you guys all next week, same time, live here on YouTube at 3 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. We'll have a political episode next week. It's going to be very interesting. We'll give you guys more information on that soon. But then we have our season finale the week after that, where we're going to be doing an animation special. So we'll see you guys back for both of those episodes. Until then, take care. Anything, Lizette, you want to sign off with me? Help me sign off.
Yeah, sign off. And also thank you for whoever played the game with us, the Oscar little game that we did. Thank you for playing. If you're on my side or Matt's side, whatever side you took, thank you for participating with us too. So
awesome. Okay, guys, until next time, Sherwood Players, character driven, power to the artist.
Power to the artist. Yes.
All right. See you guys.
Bye, Matt. Bye, everyone.
Bye.